Ho, we're live. We are live. Good morning to everybody. Doesn't look like there's anybody actually connected yet. So I'll wait for a few of you to start filtering onto the live stream. It's actually been a while since we've been live. Hey, Daniel. Looks like there's a couple of you coming in. I'll give it just a few minutes. Jordan, SBC. Good morning. 9 of us. Matt, good morning. 13. Hey, everybody seems to be piling in. So I want to say, first of all, good morning. Thank you for everyone who is here. Everyone. Yes. So we'll start with the questions right away. SBC Cave. What happened to the HD Nano Skins video? I really wanted to see it. So I'm in the Ubiquiti beta program, and it is against the terms and conditions of the beta program. And so since those, even though they're publicly accessible, it is against the terms and conditions. That video I got hadn't been even out 3 hours, and Ubiquiti emailed me and politely, it was not threatening or anything. They let me know that I was in violation of the terms and conditions. We agreed on that, and I went ahead and I pulled the video down. So and it was actually a really good video. It was getting a lot of positive traction, a lot of views, a lot of thumbs ups, a lot of great a lot of great conversation. Now, to compensate for that, Ubiquiti did send me a non-beta version of the UVC G3 Flex. Now, I did shoot some unboxing footage of this, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to do a video on that, if I'm going to release that content or not. I have a ton of B-roll stuff that has not specifically been created into finished products yet, so I'm thinking about whether I'm going to release this. Now, you are definitely going to see the UVC G3 Flex. Hey, Microcom Technologies. Hey, who from Microcom is that? Microcom, can you tell me who you are over at Microcom? Is that Doug, or who is that? Hey, James, Michael, Darius. Good morning to everyone. So, hey, Christopher. Hey, David, I don't know that you and I have talked. I know there were some emails between me and someone at Microcom about a possible affiliate program. And I can't remember if that was you or not, but it is great to have someone from Microcom on the live stream here. So back to the story. So they actually sent me this. They actually overnighted this since they had me pull the video down. And then they also sent me one of the beta mounts, but I can't show you that because then that definitely will violate the beta terms and conditions, and I do not want to do that. I have a very good relationship with Ubiquiti, and I don't want to violate that trust. And so, I did take that down. Hey, Alex. But let's talk about this. So I'm also a beta member over at Grandstream, and Grandstream actually feels a little differently about it, where Grandstream actually wants me to do videos on the beta product and the beta firmware and all that. Grandstream has told me, I have it in writing, yes, you definitely do it. Make sure that you tell everybody this is beta. Make the distinction between beta and what's being currently shipped. But yes, let's do beta videos, whereas Ubiquiti doesn't want any of that stuff out there. Now, I'm trying to think if I'm in a beta club for anybody else. I think those are the two companies where I'm doing a lot of product testing. Hello to everybody who is filtering in. Now, if you go to my last video, Blade Ninja. Yes, so Blade Ninja is in the comments. Blade Ninja, he has if you like Fortnite and you like gaming, Blade Ninja is a new YouTuber, and I do want to give him a shout out. I have to tell this story about Blade Ninja's brother, Matt Drain. So we took our kids to their first actual outdoor concert in Springfield, Illinois, which is the capital of Illinois. If you're not familiar with Illinois, Springfield's the capital. They had the state fair back in August, and one of our favorite artists was playing, and his name is Luke Combs. He's a country artist, and he's fantastic. If you haven't heard of Luke Combs, go check him out. But I have a son who, this is the only time you're probably going to hear me really talk about this. I have a son who's in a wheelchair, has a medical condition. He is in a wheelchair. And so we took him to this. We were in the VIP pit, but we couldn't really see. And so a couple people from the crowd actually talked to people who were up at the front of the gate. And I was actually able to take my son to the front of the VIP pit, to the to the gate in front, where we were able to see the concert. Luke Combs actually autographed a hat, gave it to my son, but Blade Ninja's brother, Matt, and his friends were gracious enough to let us get to the front. So that tells you that there are still good people. And Matt Drain and his friends, his girlfriend, his friends, and they're awesome people. And Blade Ninja is Matt's brother. He's an aspiring YouTuber. He's got a gaming channel. So go check out Blade Ninja if you like content on Fortnite and gaming. So he's just starting. So, go check him out. And I do want to definitely give him a shout out. So I'm glad you're here, Blade Ninja. I don't know if you enjoy technical content, but that's what we're going to talk about while we've got some time here. Yeah. So a lot of people think Chicago is the capital of Illinois. It is not. If you talk to anybody from Chicago, when they say downstate, they mean anybody south of I-80, which is the lot of the state. So, there's a lot of that. So a couple other things. People have asked about Patreon. Patreon is live. It's patreon.com/Willie Howe. I will put it down here in the links. And we've got levels, from $1 up to $20. And so there is going to be Patreon only content at some point. Patrons will get early access, and I have a lot of exciting videos. I bought, as you can hear, the audio quality is better. I'm investing more in making the videos look better. If you want to see a little bit of the B-roll footage that I put together, let me know. And if you email me, I will. Patreon.com. The .com. Yeah, James, a lot of us wish that Chicago was its own state. And the fact that California is going to, on the ballot this year, they're going to actually have a serious question about splitting the state. When people in Illinois heard that, their ears went up and they're like, oh, if California can split into 3 states, maybe. Anyway, I'm not going to get political or anything like that. But Patreon is there. Split it at Springfield. I love it. But so the Patreon link is there. Also, in our last video, there's a link to the new t-shirt. If you haven't seen the new t-shirt, it's Bits Get Out the Way. And if you can go check it out, it's a bunch of bits, ones and zeros, and there's some fiber cable coming through and they're splitting. So the link to our merch shop is actually in the last video. So check that out. Actually, let me see if I can get you a link real quick to the merch shop, and I will put that in the live stream. I had to real quick move away, so don't say too much in the chat because I want to come back and I want to catch it up here. And in fact, I'm hoping that I'm still actually live here. Let's see. So this is the store right here where you can get your H5 merch, but there's a new shirt. And anytime we release merchandise, no matter what it's going to be, we have pledged, because I will tell you, because of all of you, we're blessed. We're really blessed. And so anytime we do any merch, automatically 50% of all the profits are going to go to charity. And so the first shirt we released, I was able to send a check over to the Fuller Center, and they help veterans in our area repair their homes. And so we were able to send a check over to them, and we're not doing this for the publicity. I don't ever talk about our charitable donations. We do charitable donations all the time. I don't want that to be, I don't want to come on here and talk about money we give and things like that. But I will tell you that by participating in the merchandise program, you will be contributing to giving money to charities. And so Tim Bear picked the charity for the new shirt design, and it is the Children's Hospital of Central Illinois. So yeah, Blade Ninja, you're welcome for the shout out, man. Your brother did me a solid, and I'm hoping that we can hook up. Again, my mom is on there, so don't say anything bad about my mom. So all right, so back to it. I have a little bit of time. I've got to clean the smoker. I got to shoot some more footage, but I want to talk about this again. So back to the Flex, the UVC G3 Flex. This is the non-beta, and you are going to see a camera. I'm going to do what's called like a camera shootout, where we're going to have footage from. I've got Dahua cameras. I've got the Reolink cameras. I have the Ubiquiti cameras, and I'm trying to think if I've got any other. Anyway, they're all going to be in the workshop. You're going to see footage from all three cameras. You're going to get to decide what's the best for you. You'll be able to ask questions and all that good stuff. So I've got a lot of things. I don't want to give too much away about my upcoming videos because I've been working really hard, and I don't want somebody to maybe take that idea and spin it off into a different video, because I've got some real I've got my own spin I want to put on these things. But anyway, the content quality is going to go up. I got a new camera. You're going to start seeing on the new videos where we are actually recording audio independent, and so there's going to be a lot more editing going into videos. There's going to be a lot more on-site videos. Some things that kind of came in. I did get a bid for a company out east, and so they are going to drop ship all the gear to me, and I'm configuring an entire marina, and we're talking like several loops and all kinds of equipment. So if I get permission to film that, you're going to see that set up from tip to stern, which is going to be awesome. And then I'm going to box everything back up. I'm going to ship it out. They're going to set it up. I just bid on a Grandstream phone system for an international dog food company. So that's really exciting. The Grandstream stuff is going really well. So that's going to be, it's going to be exciting. So it's a 41 phone deployment. 5 of those are conference phones. The rest are GXP 2170s, and then there's about a dozen soft phones that we're going to deploy. So that's awesome. Hey, good morning from Denmark. Matt, yeah. If you guys have specific questions, go ahead and post those over in the chat, and I will answer questions as they come through. But when my wife gets home, I will, if we're going to go for probably another half hour, but if she gets home before then we'll probably wrap this up. Matt says, you have installed Reolink like I saw in your video, just wondering when the follow-up is due. So Matt, I am actually going to be shooting some follow-up footage on that, and doing the install on that. So it will be yeah. Nathan Smith, does Grandstream work well in multiple site deployments? I think it does. And I take the time, I've got a whole process when you work with me. If it's from scratch, there's quite a bit of planning that goes on behind the scenes. There's even more planning if we're ripping out an old system, putting a new system in. If you talk to somebody else who's loyal to another brand, you're going to get a different answer. But the way that I deploy the systems, I have had 0 issues. I've had 1 issue due to old firmware. But other than that, no. I've got a system this weekend, actually tomorrow. I'm going to be upgrading it to the latest version. It's a 6104. I'm going to upgrade it to the last version that's available, and then we're actually going to migrate over to a 6204 and get them off of the 6104. Let's see. UNMS is on Synology Ubuntu Virtual Machine. Not sure what that means. Matt, thanks for the shout out, and you think that I'm doing a great job. That's fantastic. Daniel asked, do you know if IP version 6 tunnels are resource heavy on the edge routers? I don't know, but we could definitely, in fact, I don't even have IP version 6 outside of the lab to be able to test that at the moment. Marcus said, would it be possible to connect to Unify USG to a VPN provider as main WAN? if you want to live in Jason hell, yeah, you can absolutely do that. But once you do that, you've got no control over anything on the USG as far as the networking side of it goes. You're gonna have to go in there, and I just don't recommend it. If you want to live in that world, go for it. Right? Do follow the Jason example from Ubiquiti, and when you're ready to get out of your personal hell, get a hold of me, and we'll talk about doing it on an edge router. Do you know when the new CloudKey Gen 2 is officially available? I don't know. I thought it was officially available, but apparently it is not. So you're just going to have to keep checking your distributors, keep checking Amazon, check. So distributors. I've ordered from Microcom. I've ordered from Double Radius. I've ordered from Streakwave. Streakwave at this point by far has given me the best discounts. Who else am I looking at? I'm Live. Perfect. But I think I'm going to work on something maybe with Microcom. Not sure. Yes, Nathan, we do have, I'm working with a law firm that will be unnamed, but they have multiple sites with multiple Grandstreams. And I do believe, that it works well. I haven't heard otherwise, and they keep a time pack with me. So I would think if they were having problems, that they would have contacted me, and I haven't heard anything. So, keep posting those questions down there. What else do we want to talk about? I can't show you that mount. I do have a Wise Cam. We're going to do a Wise Cam review, and then I'm going to give away a Wise Cam. Wise Cam is pretty. Wise Cam's pretty good for like a $20. We've talked about them before. Nathan asks, "What is your favorite SIP phone to test with? The one over." I love the Grandstream GXP 2170. This thing is a beast. But there are definitely phones that are less expensive. So you can get a PoE phone from Grandstream for around the $30 point. So there'd be nothing wrong with a $30 phone for testing. But I mean, the GXP 2170 is a sexy phone, man. And they look hella good with the, I can't believe I said that. 36 years old. I just said hella good. But they look fantastic. How's that sound? They look fantastic. They look professional with the sidecar attachment. Now I don't have a sidecar attachment. If my Grandstream handler is watching, send me a sidecar, would you, so I can show that off. But I order plenty of the sidecars. But yeah, it extends the phone. But yeah, this is my daily driver. You can see the voicemail lights going off. If you ever call me and talk to me, this is the phone that you talk to me on. I'm probably going to be getting a handset pretty soon, because you can see that the cord is getting it's getting wrapped up. Yeah, daily driver. Love this phone. Absolutely love this phone. Daniel wants to know, are you planning on trying Hikvision, even though it's banned for government purposes in the US? So let's talk about that. Everything. Is the Hikvision Dahua ban, is it really what's best for the citizens of the United States of America? I can't answer that. It's hugely political. I mean, it's layered. It's so layered. I mean, every camera that's got default credentials, if you don't configure it properly, there's going to be holes. So could you take a Hikvision and Dahua, stick them, in a network that's got rules that don't allow them to get to the internet? Yeah. And are the cameras going to work? Absolutely. If somebody wants to send me a Hikvision camera, I will add it to the shout out, but I'm not going to buy a Hikvision. If Hikvision, somebody sees this and shares this with Hikvision, if Hikvision wants to send me a camera, I'll add it to the mix, but I'm not going to buy a Hikvision just to do it. So all of the cameras that you're going to see in the shootout have been sent to me. I have to be really attached to hardware at this point to buy it to show in a video. But there are pieces of hardware that I have purchased recently that you're going to see. There's some MikroTik stuff that's over my shoulder that I purchased that they didn't send me. And, I'm going to do videos on those. Marcus says, would it be possible to ignore a given client from traffic statistics in the unified controller? Ooh, I don't know that. And if you can do it, it's probably not configurable in the user interface in the web UI. Yeah, I don't know. Let me show you something. All right, so you might have seen this if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You may have seen this. Oh, first of all, all right, Jack Squat. In your first Grandstream video, you promised to do future videos on all sorts of topics. So far, you haven't lived up to your pledge. What gives? I bought a PBX and 3 GXP 2170 phones. Come on, Jack. So I have a lot of things bouncing around up here. I have a lot of content that I want to get to. I have a lot of Grandstream videos to come, but it takes time to plan these things. Now, a lot of my videos, I just get behind the camera and the mic and I just shoot them, start to finish. And then I slap the intro and the outro on and I publish them. But I'm trying to bring the quality of the content up a little bit. But if there are specific topics, Jack, I hope you're hearing me. If there are specific topics you need videos on sooner rather than later, please go to h5llc.com, fill out the contact form, or email me. Tell me what those are. I'm always asking for feedback. Now I get like crazy things like, let's do PIA on a USG. I get that request all the time. I want to let you know, I love you all. I will not be doing at this point a PIA on USG video. Find another content creator that will do that. I'm not going to do it because then what's going to happen is people are going to do it. It's going to work, but then there's not going to be any way to control it. You're going to have to do all this stuff. And then it's going to be my fault. And the microwave's not going to pop popcorn right. And, Willie Howe told me how to configure this USG with PIA. And now the windows in my cars don't roll down. It's all his fault. So I will not, that's like one video I'm not going to do. You will not see me until it is supported in the UI easily. You will not see a PIA on USG video. Just not going to happen. But anyway, these other topics, Jack Squat, email me and let me know what you want to see. Otherwise, you're just going to have to wait till I get through the tick list. I do prioritize when viewers send me video requests. Your requests get prioritized over what I have on my list. And I have notebooks full of ideas. But it takes time to put this stuff together. I have a full-time job. And then I do consulting and the YouTube videos after hours. So if there's a week where, a video is late or a video gets published at 2:00 in the morning, that's because I've been helping customers. People have paid me for help. And then I come back and do, the free stuff. So Jack, please email me and I will do those. All right. Let's see. Let's see. And James, James is down in St. Louis, and I'm hoping at some point that James and I are going to do a live stream, and we're going to do probably like an Intersight Grandstream UCM trunk and do callings back and forth. We got to get the logistics of that worked out, find out what kind of hardware, software we need to make that happen easily. Let's see. Yeah, thanks, Jack. SatVision, I regret buying the USG Pro. Should have bought the Edge Router Pro instead. I hear that a lot, but there are a lot of cases where the USG is going to be a perfect fit. I'm not saying it's not a great product. I'm saying that they've very narrowed the focus on the USG, and that the Edge Router allows you much more flexibility. Okay, there it is, locked up on my side. So Rich says, yeah, my toaster stopped working. Rich, it is not my fault, man. Reboot it. All right, so what I'm holding in my hands right here, you can see it says Grandstream, and it's a trunk, man. So they used to have these. These are like the old traveling salesman boxes, right? So they pack these things with Grandstream gear, and I happen to see one of my resellers had this listed, and man, the price was like crazy. So I reached out to my contact at Grandstream. I'm like, hey, what gives? It says these things are end of life. Do you happen to have any sitting in a warehouse? Well, they're not going to distribute them anymore. And so he sent me one. So I want to thank him for that. But let's take a look at what comes in this box that says Grandstream on it. It's got a real nice plaque on the top. It's got wheels on the bottom. And I'm going to take this, man. So like if you're in my area or I'm coming to you to do training, or if I'm coming to you to show you a phone system, man, you're going to see this thing in tow. I'm going to take this place all over the place. It's going to get all kinds of awesome stickers on it. But let's take a look at what is in here. So the very first thing, of course, is you're going to get all kinds of, propaganda that talks about the products and everything that's in there. And I love the smell of new electronics too, man. And you open it up and you can tell none of these, I think they probably went through the QA. They made sure they powered on, then they put the shrink wrap on them. And it just smells so good. It's that new foam and new electronics, right? So what is in the Grandstream traveling salesman case? All right, so the first thing that they send you, how do you do a trunk to trunk with that? A trunk to trunk with this, or a trunk to trunk with a UCM? All right, so the first thing they send you is they send you a 4-port PoE, and port number 5 is the uplink. Now it is a non-name brand. On the bottom it says compact 4 ports 10100 PoE switch. So this is literally a dumb switch, non-managed, and it provides power, because you're just going to be taking this guy around and yeah, Nathan. Yeah. So you're just going to be taking this guy around and you're going to be showing the system off. Then the next thing that it comes with is this is a UCM 61 or which one is this? Yeah, this is the 6102. Now, the 6100 series is EOL. The last firmware version that was released is the last firmware that's going to work on these. But I can still get plenty of life out of this, and as long as there's not a specific feature that's needed after that, I can still take this guy around, show it off, show the basic functions like the SD card, the FXS ports, the FXO ports, all that good stuff, right? And I do have a 6204 that I could swap this out when it becomes unusable, which is not going to be for a long time. Then the next thing, okay, so we talked about camera shootouts. So this guy will be joining the fray, and this is one of Grandstream's security cameras. It's a dome security camera. It is SIP enabled. So this guy can be joined to your phone system. I can set up an alert on this. Perfect example. So let's say that I have a room where specific things happen. I have a count room for money, right? I'm a venue. Well, people aren't supposed to be in there during certain hours. I can set up a rule with this that if that rule gets triggered, this thing calls my phone. And then I can open up a two-way communication between me and whoever is on the other end. So you're going to get to see this. You will see this coming up. This camera is so much more advanced than this camera is so much more advanced with the software and everything that's on it than the other cameras that I've got, that it's almost unfair. But the Grandstream stuff, and there are other brands that are SIP enabled. And I have somebody who reached out to me, and there's a German brand, and I can't remember it off the top of my head, but we're going to probably play around with those. Michael, it actually here, it really doesn't look that cheap here when you get to it, but I can understand. I mean, it may look cheap there, but all right. So then the other thing that you get is you get a Grandstream GXP 1628. And so this is one of those lower end phones. So if you have people who freak out about new technology and they want to have all the buttons that do all the things, this phone, so this is a 2-line phone. I've not powered this on yet, but it comes with this. And so you can hook that up. And all of these phones have specific use cases, so yeah, Jack, the NVR does get bad review, but I'm not using the NVR. In fact, they're not selling the hardware NVR anymore, but they are giving the software away. And you can tie the door stations and all kinds of stuff in. So yeah, don't buy the physical NVR, get the software. It runs on Windows, and I think you can have 64 cameras, but it works with, I believe, standard ONVIF compatible cameras. So you're not limited to just, they're not locking you into an ecosystem. They're using standards. They're using SIP. They're using ONVIF, so think about that. And then here is the kind of the starter. This is the GXV 3240, and this is the lower end. I believe this is the Android phone, and it's got a webcam built into it, so you can actually do video conferencing and things like that. It's got a USB port. If you open this up over here, it's got HDMI out. It's got an SD card. I have 3 models of these. I am going to do videos on on these, but these phones, that's what comes in the kit. And the kit is very well packaged, and you don't have to worry about anything breaking. Then it comes with all the accessories, comes, with the cords and the power adapters and all that good stuff. So I am going to make a lot. This thing is going to get used a lot. So, yeah. So, and there's all kinds of, Michael brings up a point. There's all kinds of NVR software that's out there and available. Another popular one's Blue Iris, and I run Blue Iris in production where I've got a mixed camera environment. So, and I think you can have 64 cameras on that. So let's talk about what I did this morning. So, client called me up this morning, and they use they own a domain, but they do not use email addresses from their domain to conduct business. They use a free email address, like a Yahoo type address, to do business. I've recommended against this. But what they've got is they've got somebody now on the internet who's going out and copying the first part of their email addresses. And then they're also copying this person's name, and they are sending large invoices to companies and trying to collect the money. The last invoice was over $100,000. So the very first thing that we did was I went in this morning, I secured the network. We took the administrative privilege away from all the standard users on the computer. We created an admin user, created a secure password, gave that user admin rights, and then pulled the admin privileges away from the standard user that they're logging in with every day. I explained the difference, explained the procedure. Hey, if you need to upgrade your QuickBooks, if you need to install this or install that, you need to log in as your admin user. So then what we did was they were just using, somebody had installed a trial of Malwarebytes. It was actually another consulting firm, and then I get called in after this. They'd installed the trial of Malwarebytes and never followed up. So they were there like on September 4th. Malwarebytes has got a 14-day trial, and this company never followed up. I'm not going to give the name of the company. I looked them up. I'd never heard of them, but that doesn't mean anything. There's lots of humans walking around. So what I did was we bought Malwarebytes. We also bought Viper. So now they were using the built-in Windows, but they weren't using Malwarebytes Premium. So I think if you're using Malwarebytes Premium, in my opinion, depending on your web surfing habits, and it's not technology. So that's why they called me. So we went in there, we pulled the administrative privilege away from the standard users, created an admin user. We installed Viper, and we installed Malwarebytes, made some changes, showed them how to check who's logged into their. Can you guys still see me? Somebody let me know if you can still see me and hear me. Hello? Seem to get some buffering. Okay. Yeah. So, YouTube has a global network, and so to deliver this content to you, I can't even pretend that I know all the levers and tubes, to deliver this. So, do I at least sound good? Because you can deal with a little bit of blurry, but if I sound like crap, then that ruins the whole experience. Anyway, so where we started with the very basics. Let's secure the computers. Let's put our security onion in place. And then what we did was I'm suggesting to them to use email addresses and actually go with G Suite on this, because we can use two-factor authentication. Now, I did show them how to go to their Yahoo account and look at the places that have logged in, right? So who's logged in? Because it's very possible that somebody, they were using easy to guess passwords. So now we've changed all the passwords. And I gave them some password creation tips. I'm not so much a fan of the random passwords, because random passwords get stupid difficult, and we're dealing with people who are not IT people. So if I'm talking to you, you have an interest in technology, and maybe you're a technologist, your capacity for passwords and using programs that manage passwords are going to be a little bit different than people who are not people who are in technology every day. And these people are not in technology every day, but they use technology to run their business. So we changed the passwords. I told them to use passphrases. Let's put a number at the end of the phrase. If the phrase is long enough and you don't tell people, and it's not associated with your business name or what you do, the odds of that being compromised are I mean, much slimmer. So we did that. Now I talked to them about the importance of two-factor authentication. To me, two-factor authentication is hugely important, and you should be using it. So yeah, Mark, not necessarily a security onion. If you go back through my videos, it's actually a security gobstopper or jawbreaker. That's how I like to look at it. I actually have a video called "Security and Layers Defense in Depth." Go back and check that out. So I explained to them the importance of two-factor authentication, what it is, what it does, and um, they've been communicating with customers for many, many years using a generic email address. And I said, look, I'm going to bill you for this later. And when I bill you, it's not going to come from a Gmail account. It's not going to come from a Yahoo account. It's not, it's going to come from, my domain, and it's going to come from my, the people who do my payments for me, and all of my customers know, they know they're never going to get a bill from a generic, whatever. It's going to be very focused on my business. So we're laying the groundwork. We got some interesting IP addresses. We printed those out. The county police are supposed to be going to a grand jury to get a warrant to get Yahoo to release certain information to them, because now we do have a police case open with this. There is an FBI case open. That's about all I can say about this. I can't really go into many details. Once it's over, I'll find out how many details I can release and possibly do a video on that. But you should definitely think about your business, how people perceive you. If you're not in information technology, SatVision, recommendations of domain providers. I love Google. I saw Cloudflare's getting into the game. However, Google, as much as I don't like some of the things that they do, their registrar service is awesome because you get the privacy, but then you get dynamic DNS for $12 a year. I haven't hit the limit of dynamic DNS. If you're a customer of mine, and we've done dynamic DNS, and you didn't want to buy a domain, there's a good chance that you are using one of my, I have a domain that I use specifically for dynamic DNS, and I haven't hit the top end of where Google's going to cap me off at those free dynamic DNS accounts yet. So, Nathan, yes, YubiKey, absolutely. And in fact, I have one right here. This is the $20 YubiKey, and I'm filming a video on this. So, and you can go out, you can get these $20 all day. Now, I've had some people say that their hardware has failed prematurely. Just not sure. I don't know if you're carrying it in your, I don't know how people are using these, but, I'm not going to treat mine like a piece of garbage. Or, like a physical metal key. I mean, there's circuitry here, so there's certain things, and that'll all be covered in the video. So there is a video coming on that. Yeah, so the new 5th gen YubiKeys, they have a, NFC. I just saw that those were just released. I think the base model starts at $50, but so Willie, check your email. We just got an email from Viper about them. Yeah. So Rich, they actually, did read that email yesterday, and they are into lifing one product, but they're rolling all of that then to a different product. So it's not like if you're licensed for one product, they're going to leave you out in the cold. They're migrating you to a different product. So, let's see here. Oh, yeah. So, gear, so I've got a couple, audio recorders that I'm going to be recording audio with. Now, this is the one, believe it or not, that I actually carry this one with me. And when I started getting ideas, I've now started, recording them on this. I have a much nicer one with an external mic for the new videos. So what else what do you want to know? If there's anything you want to know while you got me here. Oh yeah. So I don't know if you've seen this, but I have I tried out Aruba ClearPass? I do not have any Aruba access points. If Aruba's listening, or if you have an Aruba access point you want to send me, send it on over. We'll take a look at that. Jordan, I haven't done anything with smart cards, but we are doing fingerprint authentication. I will not do iris authentication at this point. I even have some reservations about the some of the things that can be told from analyzing your iris. So yeah, Alex, any videos on NFC door access for office? Is yes. If you've been following me, you will know that I have a location with 3 Grand Stream door stations, and they work awesome. So I'm hoping to do a video, but that one gets a little complicated because of the owner of the property and how I'm connected to that. So a Grandstream is supposed to be sending me one of the new door stations, the one that doesn't have a camera, so it may have to wait until then. But for anybody that knows what this is a Front Row. Ubiquiti sent this to me last year, and some video has been shot on it. And so if you want to see an in-depth review and my thoughts on this, let me know. If you really want to know what I think about this, everybody gives Ubiquiti a really hard time about putting resources into this when we've got things like a USG that we can't have multiple IP addresses on the WAN interface. And I can share a certain part of that, but if you want to know more about this and you want to see video from this, let me know. Now, there have actually been some videos posted, and I didn't say anything at first because I wanted to do a review on it, but let me know if you want to see a review of the front row camera. Let me know if you want to see a review. I've even thought about giving this away. So, Sat Vision asks, any plans of live stream with Crosstalk Solutions again? Chris and I have not talked about that. I haven't talked to Chris in a little while, and we haven't talked about that. So if at some point it comes up, I'm always down to live stream with Chris over there, Tom. I've picked up a couple other YouTubers. If you've noticed, Unky Joe, I'd like to do a live stream with him. Adam B, played with Unify Protect yet? Even if I could, I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to get a beta strike. And it should be noted that for the most part, Unify Protect is beta. So we are not going to talk about that here. Jack Squat, Newegg got hacked. Had to put a watch on my credit card. Yeah, if you haven't been watching that, somebody injected code into the shopping cart area of Newegg.com and was harvesting credit card information. So it's been a long time since I've ordered anything from Newegg. So yeah, we are getting ready to do the VPN test. My ONT is now in bridge mode finally. And so I am going to be reaching out to you. It's getting colder here, which means I'm going to be spending less time outside, more time inside creating content. And so we are getting ready to start the VPN test and the speed test, and we're going to create that huge hub and spoke network. So that is coming. That's going to take a while because there are a lot of you responded. So I'm going to imagine that by the time the hub and spoke network gets done, if the edge routers will let us do it, there's probably going to be 75 to 100 sites. So we'll see how it works out. That's how many of you reached out, which was absolutely, you blew my socks off with that. John, as soon as I know when the hotel Wi-Fi project is going to be a go, when they do fund it, we are the guys. And there will be a lot of video shot because the number one comment there was that, well, why would you do an in-wall access point? That's because a lot of people don't understand in-wall access points. An in-wall access point does not have the same radio that an AC Pro has in it. In-wall access points are meant to cover a very small area. And there's a lot of manual tweaking. For those people who are deploying Wi-Fi and you're going out there and you're leaving it on auto, give me your book of clients and I'll contact them and I'll fix the stuff, right? That's not how Wi-Fi should be done. You can't just go deploy Wi-Fi and walk away from it. There's testing, there's tweaking. So you have to do all of those things. And if you're just installing Wi-Fi and you're walking away, you're doing a huge disservice to the customer. You're doing a huge disservice to yourself. So it's like, yeah. So I'm going to put an in-wall, access point, an in-room access point in each of those. Each room will be dialed down individually. And that hotel will have the best Wi-Fi of anybody around it besides 4- and 5-star hotels. I work with other consultants. So a large book of my business is supporting other consultants. And I work with a lot. Probably have what I would consider for me a lot, probably 6 to 10 other consultants that I support that do hotel installations. And when you work, in fact, I had one tell me when we do 5-star hotels, each room has to have an in-wall access point. And that's the requirement for this certain hotel chain that has 5 stars. So, for those people that had a meltdown, you don't understand. And I saw somebody in the comments actually came in and was like, yeah, you don't get it. And this is why. So yeah. So somebody wants to know if I'm going to do a MikroTik router board video. Yes, I plan on updating my MikroTik videos. I also plan on updating my pfSense videos. So that's going to be coming. Juan says UB&T seems to be coming out with new hardware left and right. Have you tested any of the new stuff, Cloud Key or new NVR? I've not tested the new NVR. I do have, the beta Cloud Key. Once again, I'm not allowed to talk to it about it yet. I can't talk about it. There's an embargo. I think as soon as Ubiquiti lets me know the embargo is off of the Cloud Key 2, I will do a review on it. I will do an honest review on it, So, yeah. Let's see. Can I do a video on Wi-Fi tweaking? Yes, I could do a video on that. There's other videos that need to be released that needs to be released as a series, not just like a 1-hour video, because I can't cover it in 1 hour. I probably can't even cover it in 5 hours. But not only is there textbook stuff, but there's real world stuff. And there is a lot when it comes to tweaking. I've got, so for a 73 room hotel to do all the tweaking, you're looking at minimum, if I had to guess, I'm going to spend an entire day after the APs are placed. I'm going to spend an entire day tweaking. Can the in walls have guest portal on the physical ports? It depends on the brand that you use. They can. So yes, you can have a portal on physical ports. It all depends on how your network is set up and who you've contracted to do that. Michael says, have you tested the UniFi latest firmware? There's a lot of firmware, Michael. When you get in the beta program and you look at beta versus this, there's lots of firmwares out there. Now, I'm not going into the details of beta, but yes, I've tested beta firmwares. I've tested non-beta firmwares. So I don't know specifically what you're looking for there, Michael. So let me see. Let me talk about another thing. And I'm actually going to be sending these back as soon as I get the okay. So this is ISBE, and ISBE reached out to me. The guy who created ISBE reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, I got this VPN thing." As soon as I hear VPN networking, my antennas go up. And anything I get, I want to create a video on it, because if I get it and I don't do a video, or I don't do a giveaway with it and it just sits here, that's not right. And that's not who I am. So this ISBE is a VPN box. It's almost like the Amplify teleport. And so, but I had some issues with it and stuff, so I'm going to send it back. You won't see any videos on that. But what you will see, what I did pick up, and that I do like, is this new MikroTik right here, the new Hex S. And if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you saw a picture of this. But yeah, we're going to do some videos on this guy. I'm really excited about this hardware. I'm really excited about a lot of MikroTik's new hardware. So, it's and also, as much as I love Ubiquiti, let's not pretend like they're the only hardware provider out there. I love Ubiquiti. If you watch my videos, I'm one of the biggest cheerleaders for Ubiquiti that exists. But there are other hardware manufacturers out there. So if cost, is a factor, you've got to look at that. So besides UniFi, who else has in-wall access points? So if you take a look, just do a Google search and you'll find there's half a dozen manufacturers that have in-wall access points, and some of them are more expensive than Ubiquiti. Have I tried the Ubiquiti phones? Yeah, you can see there's one up there behind me. Not going to go into huge detail, but I use Grandstream phones instead of the Ubiquiti phones. Somebody said something about UNMS. Speaking of firmware, what's your experience with UNMS for maintaining up-to-date firmware? So Adam, once again, so I do resell a UNMS hosted service, and I have several other consultants that use my hosted service specifically for UNMS. They understand the deal. They understand, that it's the features are coming to it. But I've got a couple consultants out in New York. They love it. They absolutely love it. They can push the firmware upgrade. They don't have to go on site. They don't have to have ports open. They don't have to VPN in. They love it. And unlike UniFi, UNMS has two-factor authentication, which I absolutely love. If any of my Ubiquiti handlers, David, are out in the audience, we need two-factor authentication on the standalone UniFi controller, because I don't always want to have to count on the Ubiquiti cloud, for my UniFi controller, my two-factor authentication. Perry, thank you for the shout out about the split DNS. That's fantastic. Let's see. Have you looked into AeroHive? Seems to be giving away. No, I at one point, I was working on a Wi-Fi project, and I contacted AeroHive, Ruckus, and Cisco, and then I did the Ubiquiti, and all three of the other vendors wanted to come on site and charge me a minimum. Now, this has been a few years ago. It was a minimum of $10,000 to do an RF study. If I'm doing a local client, my RF study is not $10,000, and I don't know how you can sleep at night charging $10,000 to do an RF study on a single level building it's not huge. I don't know how you can justify that. I understand people got to make money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against people making money, but I mean, some of these places they are bending people over and they're getting away with it. That's why I need to fix my marketing, maybe, to make more people aware that they don't have to pay these exorbitant fees. Do you have any IoT devices on your home network that basic security is lacking and you have thoughts on? Well, so I have a special SSID that's set up for those, and it is firewalled off from the main network. So if you're talking about IoT devices that go out and they communicate with a server, so like my Wisecam, the Ring doorbell, Nest, all those things, they're segregated. So I'm not 100% worried about those. I do have reservations about where they might be storing that, but let's see. Is there any brands? Let's see here. Do you think Ubiquiti? So here's a very loaded question. Do you think, and I'm not, I have a lazy tongue, I'm American. And so I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce your first name. I'm going to try it. And if I don't do a good job, I apologize right now. Musab. That's my best guess. Do you think Ubiquiti handles enterprise networks? From the UniFi side, what I call an enterprise network, an enterprise small office, remote office, yes. If I use the Edge gear, I would say yes, we can handle enterprise type networks. Have you tried Wemo devices? Yes, I have tried Wemo, and I'll give you my thoughts on that a little later. Let's see. Would you consider doing a little video on setting up the Inform? Beeliner, I've got a video that talks about Informs. The audio's a little jacked, but yeah, I should probably redo that. Jack Squat, Grandstream doesn't have in-wall APs. No, they don't. But I will tell you that another brand that you've seen me work with, I did ask about in-wall APs, and they're talking maybe later this year, next year. So what's your opinion, the USG and the Edge router? Edge router If you need maximum flexibility and you need to do, things that are not in the UI of UniFi, go with that edge router. And that edge router is going to teach you networking, and it's going to teach you responsible configuration and things like that. UniFi is good for all the green bubbles, and it's good for a very small, simple site. So UniFi has its place. Edge also has its place. Rich says we used Aerohive at Macaroni Grill, but I like UB&T better. A lot of people like UB&T better because most people are not using the advanced features of these other companies. Aerohive and Ruckus, they all have advanced features that Ubiquiti doesn't have. If Ubiquiti included those and included the support that you can get, they'd have to charge the same prices. So Ubiquiti is offering a different product that does similar things at a much different cost with a different support model. If you can do your own VLANs and you can set all this stuff up, Ubiquiti is a much better fit if you are worried about price. There's a whole lot of things that go into. If you saw my Ubiquiti versus Cisco video, you know that there's a whole lot of things that go into selecting a network equipment vendor. Michael, I promise you that my SSL certificate for UniFi Video still works. I just literally used it. The cloud key also works. Somebody told me that Ubiquiti support said that the video didn't work. This person contacted me, and I went to the instructions that I posted. I followed them step by step, and it works. So not sure where that's coming from, but I promise you that my instructions for SSL certificates still work. So Daniel brings up a point that edge routers are feature rich, but if you aren't 100% comfortable with the CLI, yeah, so you can use the config tree, and the config tree will give you, a little bit of a better, granular configuration setup, but without the command line. So you could also do that. Now, for enterprise grade advanced routing. So let's differentiate between routers and firewalls, right? So if you come to me and you're like, I need the best firewall and I want support and I want to do this, I'm going to sell you Palo Alto. If you're like, well, I don't need all this stuff and I need a basic firewall and I can do some of these logging and things, then I'm going to probably, we're going to look at an edge router. We're going to look at a WatchGuard. We're not going to, but if you're like, I need this and I need to be able to pick up the phone and get an engineer, I'm going to sell you Palo Alto when it comes to firewalls. They're the number one, and there's a reason that they're number one. Have you had any experience with the new Elite support from UB&T? My company had an issue with support years ago, and I'm having trouble getting them to try again. This is what I'll tell you about Elite support. I know one of the Elite support techs. She's very good. Then I'll tell you this. I've had 4 customers that I've now migrated off of Elite. Okay. So I've not had any direct support experience, but I have migrated 4 customers away from Elite. They now use me for support. I have a lot of people who try the free Ubiquiti support. They get to a point and then they call me, or it just depends. Oh, this is my wife. Hold on a second. Hello, dear. I am. And are you on your way home? We do not have buns. You want? Well, I was on a live stream. I was waiting for you to call and let me know, and then I was going to head to the garage. Do you want to say hi to the people on my live stream? No. Oh, my wife doesn't want to say hi to everybody, but she's on the phone checking if we've got hamburger buns because I'm cooking turkey burgers. So I will go ahead and I'll wrap this here in a minute, and I'll get started. All right, love you. Bye. So we're going to go ahead and work on wrapping this up, but we'll get back to that. But anyway, there's a real mixed. I like, I'm friends with Ubiquiti support people, so it's difficult for me to come out here and say that it doesn't work. And I'm not saying that it doesn't work because I get emails all the time. Hey, I worked with us, or I have people who pay me and they use this hybrid, this hybrid support system, right? Where they'll use them for some like lower end things, and then when they want a definitive answer and they want somebody to come in here and they want it now, then they call Willie Howe, So I mean, try the support, the free support, and then call me if you have issues, you know. So let's see here. Yeah, Juan says, if you're not married, you will never understand. You better pick up the phone. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And and a woman knows that the best way to a man's heart's through his stomach too, right? So let's see. Tell her not to forget the milk and eggs. Nope. So we'll actually go grocery shopping tomorrow, but I will probably, Peter, add some of that stuff. I think we have milk anyway. So John, WatchGuard, Checkpoint, Fortinet, pfSense, pick the best in your opinion. Well, Palo Alto, top of the heap, right there. Number one firewall company in the world, Palo Alto. And I was actually just talking to Tom Lawrence the other night. We talked for over an hour the other night on the phone. But he said, what do you think about UTMs? Unified Threat Management, right? That's where you get one box and it does shave, old man. I'll shave later. I actually, anyway, back to this and then we'll talk about my beard. But, for a large enterprise, I'm not going to put a UTM box in. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to have layered devices that do multiple different things. But for a small office, something that doesn't have a ton of traffic, a UTM is probably going to work. But you need to be real careful depending on the security requirements of a site. I've got a customer that we spent a lot of time doing the configuration with UniFi, and you're talking, this guy's got 10 employees and UniFi doesn't pass the security test. So we had to put a Palo Alto in. I wish it was just as easy as saying, okay, use this brand to do this. It all depends, John, on the, it all depends on the requirements of the company. And, some places don't have any security guides, and you walk in, you go, oh my God, what the hell has happened here? And then you have places that it's very well documented, and it should be documented. If you take, information security serious. I have another customer who's going to be, I will tell you, they do tens of millions of dollars in business a year, probably over $100 million a year at this point. And I've told them, we need information security procedures. You need legal documents, man, that have teeth in there about how your employees interact with your customer data. And I can't get this person off square one. One of these days, there's going to be an issue. And we say, and you see that email that I sent you? I told you we needed to have these documents in place. You needed to have these procedures in place. I told you, I don't want it to be an I told you so, but I can only break it down into simple English. I can only provide so many examples. When they don't want to spend the money, your back's up against the wall. But at some point, they're going to pay you. They're going to pay you to clean up a mess, and it's going to be more expensive after the fact than if they'd have just taken your advice in the beginning. So, yeah, Rich, I plan on calling you tomorrow. I got your number, and I'll call you tomorrow. So, back to my beard. So I usually participate in No Shave November. But if you've been following me for a while, you know that it takes me forever to grow a beard. So this is actually, I'm going to coin this. I call this Jumpstart July. And I had to start growing this beard in July. Otherwise, I look like a little kid at the end of November. And then all the real men with beards get to laugh at me. So, yeah, Checkpoint. I'd like to get my hand on a Checkpoint. I haven't had the opportunity at this point. I have another customer who we were actually trying to get edge routers approved for Ford Motor Company. So Cisco and Checkpoint for this particular customer are approved by Ford Motor Company. The edge router failed. We just can't configure it. I worked with Ubiquiti support. It would have been a huge deal for Ubiquiti if we could have got certified with Ford Motor Company to be one of those firewalls on the list. But but Ubiquiti has the requirements now, and so I'm hoping that maybe at some point they'll make the list and we can get them, certified for Ford Motor Company for this one specific thing that the router or the firewall has to be able to do. So we reconfigured the Cisco, and I've talked to the client. I think he's going to get a Checkpoint in because they are on the list. Um, they are on the list, and I've not touched one, but I would love to. I see them used on eBay. I'm very well, I'm kind of skittish on the eBay stuff. Now, Palo Alto turned out okay from eBay, but that doesn't mean that everything. So, Juniper, the SRX boxes, I'm not too hot on them. I don't know. I've got one, and if you want to see a video on it, let me know. In fact, Rich is the one who sent that to me. Let me know. Um, FortiGate is on the Ford list. We have them at the dealers here. So the document that I was looking at did not have Fortinet. It only had Cisco and Checkpoint on the list, and we had downloaded that from that portal. So not sure what market segment you're connecting to on that, but let me know. Reach out to me in an email and let me know. FortiGates are amazing. 1,000 IT guys, 1,000 opinions. I'm actually pulling a FortiGate out. I've pulled a lot of FortiGates out, and believe it or not, the most popular firewall. So based on the hundreds of clients that I've helped, the most popular firewall. Can anybody guess? If you can guess the brand, I'm going to send you a NetTool. If you can guess the brand, the most popular firewall, Mark gets it right out of the gate. Mark got it. It's SonicWall. So hands down, the most popular firewall that so Mark, you need to go over to h5llc.com, fill out the contact form, put in there that you won the NetTool, and I will get that shipped out to you. SonicWalls are by far the most popular firewall that I connect USGs and edge routers to. But then look, you see, somebody else says here, we're pulling SonicWalls out of everywhere. So let's think about this. So we were talking about how can all of these equipment manufacturers stay in business, right? How can all these equipment, but think about this, right? You go to a building and there's Wi-Fi everywhere, where if they're doing it properly, they're using a large building, right? They're using more than one access point. Think about how many access points it takes to do wireless properly. Then think about all the cash registers. Think about all of the peripheral devices that get plugged in the network, security cameras, all these things that need network access. So then think about how many switches it takes to make some of these buildings go. Then think about how many firewalls, how many servers. I mean, if you watched any of the Toys R Us liquidation videos, people were buying the hardware. And I've actually got my name in for Bergner's. They've got my business card. The local Bergner's, when they start liquidating that stuff, they're supposed to call me because I want the servers, I want the switches, because this stuff has just been recently installed, right? So, think about how much gear it takes. So it doesn't take, at certain price points, it doesn't take a huge amount of gear for these companies to just make money hand over fist, right? So, it's there's so much gear out there. There's so much gear sold from so many manufacturers. It's just unbelievable. I mean, and then we get into like how much e-waste we have and all this other stuff. And here's another one, Allied Telesign, like I've seen their switches. I had no idea that Allied, first of all, was still in business. Second of all, that they make UTMs. So I don't know. Norton Connect Safe. If you're talking about the ball that looks like the thing from Disneyland, that's a router that's going to be geared towards home use. And if it's Norton, I'm probably not going to recommend it. And it may be doing, some ARP spoofing and things like that. I would love for somebody to send me over a WatchGuard with pfSense. I was actually just looking at eBay. I was looking at retired 1U appliances and like, could I get something for like under $50, and like what software can I put on it and all that. Zyxel. Oh God, Oliver, you had to bring up Zyxel. So for those of you who've been following me, you know that I had I had a video called Zyxel Nebula failure to launch. Now I've taken it down. It's actually private because they paid for the shipping of the gear to go back to them. It was a mess. It was a garbage fire, man. It was a hot mess. I couldn't get the hardware activated. They saw the video, they reached out. Well, why didn't you reach out? Well, why would I reach out? You know, my people who watch my videos need to know that I got this equipment in the box and it was sealed. The equipment was sealed. So why was the MAC address or whatever, why was it already activated? That's a hot mess, man. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, you know, like this is what happened when I took it out of the box. I couldn't even activate it. If you'd have paid money for that, you'd have been pissed, and you should be pissed. So we came to an agreement that I'm not gonna do any Zycel videos. I'm gonna take the video down, and so the funny thing is they still send me Nebula update emails. I get them all the time. So Zycel home equals nightmare. Yeah. Yeah, whatever, yeah, partner videos and all that good stuff. Yeah. And I am looking, you know, I am looking to, I will never lie to you about an experience. I will never shade it. I'm will make sure that I tell you when things are sent to me for free. I will tell you if it's a paid. I am looking to do some paid sponsorship videos. I'm looking, you know, my monetization on YouTube is gone. And I'm, you know, I love putting this free content out there for you, but I'm leaving money on the table, you know. I'm missing what I would consider, you know, a lot of money, you know, even though when you look at my Social Blade, it says, you know, $800 a month. To me, $800 a month is a lot of money, and it can buy a lot of gear to do a lot more videos. So that's why I started the Patreon, you know, and that's why I have the links and stuff like that. So you know, trying to figure out, you know, like how can I keep, you know, keep content and things coming. So if somebody wants, if you know, if you're with an equipment manufacturer, or you don't even have to be an equipment manufacturer, you know, if you're a company and you want to do a paid spot here, get with me. We'll figure out what it costs to do a paid sponsored video, and then you'll have a paid sponsored video and you'll get some insight. You're not going to get to control what I say. That's not going to happen. You will not get to review the video, but you can sponsor videos, you know, and you could be a tool company. You could be, you know, a beverage company, you know, like, I'm trying to work out a deal with Bones Coffee because I love Bones Coffee, and we just haven't been able to connect on that yet. But so you know, YouTube, I appealed for the seventh time to YouTube, or to Google, and they said your monetization is not coming back. So you know, you know, it's so Donald Trump. I am going to remove Donald Trump. Let's see. How do I ban this user? Hide user on this channel. And then there's another one, good looking honky here. So we're going to hide good looking honky, hide user on this channel. So how do I do the Tom Lawrence donation button to send you money? So if you go to my YouTube channel, there is a PayPal thing up in the title. You can send me money that way. The Patreon link is there. So my YouTube monetization was taken away. You know, the timing here is I did an edge router video, how to block edge video, how to block ads with your edge router, and then my YouTube monetization, my AdSense account was suspended. But I love YouTube as a platform. I'm just hoping that maybe one of these days they will reconsider. So, but in the meantime, I am looking at other ways to monetize the, you know, because not everybody's going to send me free stuff, right? So I'm lucky enough that I work with a company, an ISP, and he sent me the wireless wire. Now you're going to see this in the follow-up video that I'm filming, but the wireless wire got pulled out. I replaced it with a pair of the Locos because it just couldn't penetrate the garage in the house and create a connection. So you are going to see that. But so, you know, and I do make a small amount of revenue off the Amazon affiliate link. So I appreciate everybody that buys stuff there. And what is with all of the jagoffs, you know, that are coming into the channel here, man. So first it was clearly a fake Donald Trump account. because Donald Trump doesn't even know who Willie Howe is and wouldn't bother with my live stream. And then there was, yeah. Anyway, I blocked him. Yeah. Ether Magic. So Ether Magic is another beta product. I have one. I can't talk about it. You know, there's those embargoes. Now, maybe if they kill the product, which I don't know. I heard that it's, you know, coming back. But maybe if I can get written permission from Ubiquity to do a video on that, I'll do it. I have it, but it's another one of those videos where there's an embargo because it's not an officially, you know, released product. Had any issues with the Pocket Ethernet tool testing cables? So, what I need to do is I have a Pocket Ethernet. They sent it to me. I'm going to do a review on it. And then I am going to do a side-by-side comparison, pros and cons of Pocket Ethernet and of the NetTool. So, yeah, Rick says you may want a moderator. So probably what somebody's doing is they're like going to put a bunch of garbage in here. And they're like, you need a moderator. We can help you with that. But anyway, yeah, so I do have some stuff coming from Ideal Industries. Reached out to them. I reached out to Klein Tools. Klein Tools has not reached back out yet, so it's going to be their loss on that. But Ideal has been very awesome. They've sent me some stuff. I'm going to do a video on it this week, and I hope you're going to really enjoy the content. But I'm hoping to form a real solid partnership with Ideal. So we're going to get into a lot of cabling videos too. And the nuts and bolts of cabling, and not just, you know, Tom has talked about how he bids it and stuff like that, but we're going to get into like some of the nuts and bolts. So, have I killed any NetTools with PoE? No, I have not. But yeah, we're going to get into some fiber cabling, and I'm actually trying to talk my electrician into getting in front of the camera and doing some stuff. So I work with an electrician that does some of this stuff, and he's a great guy. His son is awesome, and I've been trying to talk him into doing it, but you know, he's not, you know, I don't know that he's down with it. So we'll have to, yes, I have played with Extreme Networks. But anyway, I've got to wrap this up. My wife is picking up some buns. She's on her way home. I will put the Patreon link in here. Going all layer one on us. Yes, we are. Layer one is super duper important. If layer one fails, everything else fails, right? So I'll put that Patreon if you're interested in that. And then let's see. There's the Teespring, and then here is the Amazon link. Yes, Daniel. 1000% correct. Most problems are layer 8 problems. And if you're not familiar with layer 8, it's religion, politics, and management. Everybody in networking and IT should know that layer 8 is the red tape layer, and that is where 99% of our problems as professionals come in. So any video on solar panels with a few dishes for remote, I would love to do some of those, but you know, so, but, and speaking of, RF Elements actually has a wrench that's labeled RF Elements, and they're supposed to be sending me one. So I think that that's pretty awesome. But I really do, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Give me a thumbs up. I'm going to be, you know, working on the videos. If you want to see a video that's not released, that's some B-roll, some stuff I put together, let me know. Reach out to me. Put it in the comments. I need a way, though, to be able to send it to you because it's an unlisted video. So if you want to see that, you know, let me know. Once again, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much. I'm blessed to have such great subscribers on the channel. I really can't thank you enough. Please give me a thumbs up, follow all those links, and we'll see you in the next video.